Well, we are back doing the first preview show for UFC 265, Cyril Gunn versus Derek Lewis at Houston tomorrow night, the 6th of August. And so, yeah, let's just get right into it. I'm here with Rajiv as usual. Rajiv, what's up?
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
Yeah,
Excited for the card, but yeah, there we go.
yeah, let's go. Alright, so let's just get straight into it. So, starting off the card, we have a bantamweight fight with Song Yadong and Casey Kenny. Song Yadong holds a record of 16-5 with one no contest, and Casey Kenny has a record of 16-3-1. 16-3-1. So, and coming off their previous fights, Song Yadong is coming off a loss to Kyler Phillips at UFC 259, which was back in March. And Casey Kenny is also coming off a loss against Dominic Cruz, also again in UFC 259, the same exact card. So both fighters lost on the same night and they're going to face each other now. What do you think going to happen in this fight?
Honestly, I kind of pulling for Song Yadong with his fights. I kind of like his style. I'm looking at his record right now, and he has some notable wins over, Marlon Vera, the guy who
Beat
beat Sean O'Malley.
yeah.
And yeah, I'm kind of pulling for him over Casey Kenny, but like Casey Kenny is like a hot prospect in the UFC right now, so we'll see what happens with it. But how are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling the same way, to be honest. I'm kind of pulling for Song Yadong as well. I really do like his style, the way he is, and I honestly think he would pull out the win in this fight because he has not a knockout win since 2019, but most of his fights have gone to the decision. But I still think he's gonna do enough to grind out to win. But I think he might knock him out in the third round. What are you thinking? What's your prediction?
I kind of looking for like a decision win because I'm looking at Casey Kenny as well, and he also has like one knockout win I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
And everything else was this decision. So I'm kind of pulling for Song Yadong, but like I don't see Casey Kenny being knocked out. So like I'm thinking decision.
Well, fair enough. Before we go on, as always, guys, you guys can add us on Verdict because we always do our predictions on Verdict every fight card, and we always, try to have a banter between each other on who can get more right. I'm the one who get more right, so so yeah, guys, you can always add us on. You guys can add us on Verdict. My profile is Shivs_8, and Rajiv is what's your Verdict, Rajiv?
Yeah, so
oh yeah, I found it. It's BRYXN.XO 565 on Verdict. So yeah, guys, add us up. We can have some friendly banter on Verdict every fight night, every Saturday night. So yeah, moving on.
I think last time I checked, I have a 10% thing, and you don't. Just say it.
No, because you've been on this app way longer than I have, dog.
No, sir. I've been on that app since October. But anyways,
I joined the app like 2 months ago, dog. Anyways. Okay, so the next fight we have is in the strawweight division, the women's strawweight division. We have Tisha Torres, who currently has a record of 12-5, going up against Angela Hill, whose record is 13-9. Tisha Torres is currently on a 2-fight win streak. On a 2-fight win streak. She beat Sam Hughes in her last fight at UFC 256, and she beat Brianna Van Buren on our UFC Fight Night card. She hasn't fought this year. Her last fight was in December of 2020, but she is still on a 2-fight win streak, like I said. And Angela Hill was victorious in her last fight against Ashley Yoder, UFC Fight Night in March. But she lost the previous 2 fights, but she's still on this nice win streak. The last time she did fight was back in March, so she does have that more fresher experience over Tisha Torres. But how you see this fight playing out?
Honestly, like I'm looking at it, and like I checked Verdicts like I think last night, and most of them will pull in for a decision win for Angela Hill.
Oh.
And at the press conference today, Angela Hill was talking about her ground game and how it got a lot better from when Tisha Torres fought her 9 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
they fought.
Yeah, like we'll see what happens with that, but I'm kind of pulling for Tisha Torres with this one.
Yeah, I'm pulling for Tisha Torres as well because when they did fight, I have it in front of me here, UFC 188 back in 2015. Angela Hill lost via a unanimous decision. So yeah, she's definitely out for revenge. Like you said, she's calling Tisha Torres scared and things through the press conference. So yeah, she's definitely trying the Conor McGregor approach to try and get in her head and make her slip up. Will it work? We had to see. But
what's your prediction? Decision, knockout?
Well, looking at all of most of their wins, they've mostly, especially Tisha Torres, is mostly decisions. She always takes her fights to the judges. which is a very risky move. But I think she'll get it done in a unanimous decision again. What are you thinking?
I think knockouts because like I said with the press conference today, Angela Hill was questioning her win over her from 9 years ago, and she was saying, that was pre-USADA, pre-testing and all of that. So I feel like that would fire her up a little bit to kind of come out swinging and trying to make a statement with this win. So.
Wait, so who do you think is gonna get knockout win?
Yeah, TKO. Huh?
Who do you think is gonna get the knockout win?
Tisha Torres.
Oh, alright. So we both have predicted the same person so far, but let's see if that'll change in the third fight on the card in the welterweight division. Michael Chiesa and Vicente Luque. Michael Chiesa has a record of 18-4, and Vicente Luque has a record of 27-1. Looking at the last fights, Michael Chiesa beat Neil Magny back in January this year, and he is currently on a 4-fight win streak. However, his last 4 fights, one was in January 2021, the other was in January 2020, then July 2019, and December 2018. So he hasn't been in the ring as often as he would probably have liked, but he still is on a 4-winning streak. And Vicente Luque, who has been a lot more active recently, he beat Tyron Woodley, former UFC champion Tyron Woodley, in his last fight back in the end of March via submission, and he beat Randy Brown as well when they fought in August of last year, and he also beat Nico Price back in May of last year. So he is on a 3-fight win streak as well. So both guys riding some significant win streaks. So someone's win streak is gonna get snapped. Who do you think gonna have their win streak snapped?
I kind of pulling for Vicente Luque here. Like as much as I like Michael Chiesa, I kind of pulling for Vicente Luque. I don't know how it will happen. I'm leaning more towards a decision. I don't see Chiesa being knocked out, but I'm leaning towards Vicente Luque. What do you think about it?
I'm leaning to Vicente Luque as well, just because he's been a lot more active. Yeah, just because he's been a lot more active and he's fought a lot more recently.
You're sure you're leaning towards him because you think he's gonna win? You just know that as clap your ass and predict every week. But
no, I know he's gonna win. I'm gonna predict a decision win again for Vicente Luque. So moving into the co-main event of the night, because unfortunately we were supposed to mention Cyril, but we forgot. Amanda Nunes and her fight against Juliana Pena was pulled from the card due to the virus. You guys know what I'm talking about. Amanda Nunes tested positive, I believe, sometime last week, and she was unfortunately pulled from the card. They didn't opt to get a replacement for a interim title fight, which was kind of questionable because Dana White likes his money. But yeah, that fight just got completely pulled from the card, and in that position we have a bantamweight contest between Jose Aldo and Pedro Munoz. Jose Aldo, of course, his record of 29-7, and Pedro Munoz has a record of 19-5 with 1 no contest. Looking at the last fight, Jose Aldo beat Marlon Vera back in December of 2020 with his most recent fight, and Pedro Munoz beat Jamie Rivera via a unanimous decision again back in February of this year. So how do you see this one playing out?
I kind of pulling for Pedro Munoz with a knockout win over Jose Aldo. I know that's a questionable pick right there, but
this is
good. Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you're looking at his Jose Aldo's last 2 fights, so he's 3-1 in his last 4 fights.
Mm-hmm.
He lost to Alexander Volkanovski, who is the current featherweight champion. He lost to Marlon Moraes, who by decision, and then he lost to who I consider to be the current bantamweight champion, Peter Yan.
Yeah, so do I.
Via TKO.
Yeah, but I mean, all his those losses are 2 of those guys are, we go with the assumption that Peter Yan is technically still the bantamweight champion, because if you guys don't know what happened, it was a legal knee when he fought Sterling back in whenever, and Sterling was able to continue, and that was the first disqualification in a title fight. So yeah, but technically Peter Yan is still the champion in a lot of people's eyes, yours and mine included. So yeah, I still think even though he lost throughout his last 4 fights, those were against some really top contender guys and some really champions, so real good guys. But I think Jose Aldo would get the win in this fight. How would he get? I really not sure. I'll predict a knockout, a TKO, for Jose Aldo in the second round. So that's our first. That's what we did for first, which is which is good. So I can have some bragging rights over it because I think the main event. I think we'll agree on. I think both gonna pick the same guy. But yeah, if you have anything else left to say about this co-main fight, if not, we can move on.
Yeah, I think we covered everything with this fight.
All
Yeah.
right. So
We could jump into the main event.
the big hitters, the heavyweight division, the interim heavyweight title fight between Derek Lewis and Cyril Gunn. Derek Lewis, of course, has a record of 25-7 and one no contest, and Cyril Gunn is currently undefeated with a perfect 9-0 record. Derek Lewis is currently on a 4-winning streak, beating the likes of Alexei Olenek via TKO and Curtis Blades, his most recent fight. And I don't know how many of you guys were around when this Curtis Blades and Derek Lewis fight happened, but as soon as it ended, and he went on his Wikipedia page, you saw Derek Lewis won by homicide by punches. So Derek Lewis is a knockout machine, and I genuinely do believe he does have the power to probably kill somebody if he does hit them hard enough. So and Cyril Gunn, like I said, he currently has a perfect record. He beat Alexander Volkov in his most recent fight last month in June, but that was a decision. He also beat Jairzinho Rosenstrike via unanimous decision as well. And his last knockout win came against Junior Dos Santos back in December of 2020. So I feel like I kind of set the ground there. How do you see this fight playing out?
Alright, so that was 2 ways I see it going, and I kind of so like first of all, I think everybody know that we both pulling for Derek Lewis for this fight because we want to see that rematch between him and Francis Ngannou. And for those who don't know, he already beat Francis Ngannou a couple of years ago, but it was by decision.
But that was a different Francis Ngannou. The current day Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, exactly.
He's one guy I would definitely want to have him back in any kind of situation, though, because he's just such a scary looking guy. But yeah, going back to Derek Lewis.
I would like to think Derek Lewis could maybe weather the storm from Cyril Gunn. I'm leaning more towards like a 4th round TKO for Derek Lewis. However, like just going off of what I've seen online, and if you look at Cyril Gunn's record, he's 9-9. He's undefeated in MMA and also undefeated in Muay Thai.
Oh, he is.
So. Yeah, his Muay Thai record is what, 4-7?
13-1, so it's
13-1, yeah. So it could go 2 ways. It could either go the way of Derek Lewis weathering the storm and getting a late knockout, or it could go to decision, which I think would favor Cyril Gunn because he might be able to stay outside and kind of keep him at distance, stay away from that big right hand, and kind of pick him apart from outside using those leg kicks, using his kickboxing. And if he does get close to Derek Lewis, he might, use the clinch to his advantage. And so those are the 2 ways that I see it could go. It could either favor Derek Lewis or Cyril Gunn, depending on how that fight plays out. But I'm leaning towards Derek Lewis, so it's a late knockout. So how do you feel about it?
Well, I kind of feel the same way. I think this will go pretty similar to Derek Lewis's last fight against Curtis Blades, where he was looking kind of bad in the first round. Curtis Blades was kind of picking him apart. But in that fight, you could clearly see some improvement to Derek Lewis's wrestling. He had some great... he stopped some takedowns, and he was able to, and that's a big thing, because if you could stop takedowns and keep them up against the fence, and then he could eventually break and get back into striking, and for wrestlers that would kind of give them as, okay, I can't take them down, I gotta stand and bang with this guy. And you don't want to stand and be in a punching fight with Derek Lewis because, like I said, he could shut your lights out with one punch. There's so many clips of him just knocking guys out left, right, and center. And I believe that Cyril Gunn will come out strong and probably have a very dominant first round. But like you said, Derek Lewis would weather the storm, and I could very easily see a 2nd or 3rd round knockout for Derek Lewis.
Okay, nice. You have like a earlier round for him, but okay, yeah.
That's just basically how I see the first thing good. What's interesting to note is I didn't realize this until I just looked it up, but I know Derek Lewis is a shorter fighter, but when I checked the heights, Cyril Gunn's only 6'5" and Derek Lewis is only 6'3". So I was gonna say, Cyril Gunn definitely does have a height and reach advantage, but it's not even that much because even Derek Lewis's reach is 79 and Cyril Gunn's reach is only 81. So it's a slight height and reach advantage, but nothing too significant because if it was a significant advantage, I could definitely see Cyril Gunn just staying on the outside, throwing out a leg kick, a jab here and there to keep Derek Lewis at bay and not really get him, and really keep him at bay so he doesn't get him close and really knock him out like Derek Lewis can. But it's not that big.
Also,
yeah, good.
Oh, sorry to cut you off, but like you said that, and I just looked at if you look at Derek Lewis' last fight versus Curtis Blades is only an inch shorter than Cyril Gunn, yeah. So 6'4", and he has an 80-inch reach, and you see how that fight went for him.
Mm-hmm.
So like that extra inch, I don't see it playing a big, issue for Derek Lewis.
Yeah. So I think we're both in agreement here. Derek Lewis TKO, well, Derek Lewis knockout. Sorry. I have it in second or third round. You have it late in the fight, maybe fourth, maybe fifth round. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, we're both right. And because it's an interim heavyweight fight, neither of them would technically be the champion, no matter who wins. But I do hope, no matter who wins, we get something similar to what Justin Gaethje did when he beat Tony Ferguson for the interim lightweight strap way back last year. And he said, he's not the real champ. He doesn't want to wear the belt because he'd rather wait for the real one. So I hope we do get that kind of, mentality from whoever wins this fight. I'm not officially champion. I still have to beat Francis to become the official champion. And I definitely hope that will happen at some point. But I definitely hope it is Derek Lewis who would have the unification match with Francis Ngannou whenever that does happen. Because I think it'll be a lot more interesting fight.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also think he deserves that. He's on his winning streak. He's 36 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. His last loss came in 2019.
Huh?
Derek Lewis's last loss came in 2019, March of 2019. So
okay.
Yeah, it's lost in a while.
Yeah, like I think it would be fair for everybody pulling for Derek Lewis to win this fight. So
and it's in his hometown of Texas. It's in Houston, UFC 265.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you how big of a factor you think that would be?
I think for a guy like Derek Lewis, it would benefit him a lot. But from what I've seen from Cyril Gunn, he seems like a guy that something like that won't face him. Like the crowd, booing him and jeering him, and obviously UFC fans are gonna stone him down with a few popcorns and drinks. So I don't think he's a guy where something like that would face him. But I definitely do think having the home advantage is a big plus for Derek Lewis because he's an entertaining guy. If you've seen any of his post-fight interviews or any of his interviews in general, he's just a really entertaining guy. And in the trailer for UFC 265, he was like, this is my hometown. I have to do it for Houston and stuff like that. So I definitely think that having the home crowd behind him would be a very good advantage for Derek Lewis. But at the same time, I don't think he'll face a guy like Cyril Gunn that much.
Yeah, I agree with that because it was kind of clear in the press conference from what I saw this evening. He wasn't too bothered by the crowd. And it was kind of like a little bit of a push for Derek Lewis, to go out tomorrow, Saturday night and perform. So, we'll see what happens on Saturday night.
Okay. Well, I think we could wrap it up there if you have anything else you want to say.
Really just to look out for the post-fight podcast from us.
Of course, the press conference, can't forget.
Yeah, and also we have like a couple good events coming up later this month. I think the one that I'm most excited for is the Giga Chikadze versus
Edson Barbosa card.
Yeah, that's the one card that I'm really excited for. But yeah, look out for the post-fight podcast, and we'll see you.
Yes, that's been it from us here, guys. Like I said, look out for the post-fight press conference. That would probably be up either late Saturday night or early Sunday morning. I also uploaded a video about Lionel Messi not renewing his contract at Barcelona and where he's going to go. I did a very raw reaction about that, raw take about that. So you guys can check that out. Be sure to always like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out his socials down below. Be sure to follow Rajiv and his Instagram page, counterstrike.mma on Instagram. And yeah, guys, that's been it here from us. Later.